Yeah. Hello, students. So we are starting now this session. The idea of the entire this session is to giving an overview of the paper, the way you have solved the paper, like in the exam. So what was your mindset at that moment? What you did and what you are supposed to do it. So I am starting with Ritika. Along with that, we have Shruti, Janvi, Pawan have joined us, and Saswat will join to give you the analysis side of it. So, how was your paper? What you should do it to get the better marks in next round of Nata exam? That means the one thing is sure: the corona things is increasing numbers. Although last year also we have seen the architecture has taken the exam somehow, and this year also again it will take place. That sure is there. So ये surety है जो नाटा का exam होगा ही होगा. So this analysis today's session gonna be very important. So let's take one by one. So who is the one is ready, or we can participate together too. So I will take first individual. Ritika.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we'll start from you, Ritika, who would like to know that the entire paper, when your exam got started, how you have started the paper. Hey, everyone, switch on the video. I see again. Your videos are off. Ritika?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please start.
Yeah, so like I said, I started with section A only. So by the time I got to section 2, there was like time, and when I was trying to pay attention to what I thought would come, that didn't come as the question.
Okay. So section A, when you have started, obviously, how was the question paper? How was the question? Starting from where it is? Because section A, there was a mini question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, including we have a comprehension, passages, right? There's a lot of things in section A. So how was your section A? How was your experience of the paper initially? I just want to know, the flow which you have done.
Section A, the maths was easy. I mean, they didn't ask much maths questions. They asked riddles, which was not expected.
Okay.
And they were the passage questions. Those were easy. We had to read the passage, and they asked 4 questions based on the passage.
Okay.
That was easy. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so what is your expectation overall? The pattern you feel like, is a different, but what is your expectation? How was overall part A? We'll come to the part B, but how was your part A?
It was good. I mean, the questions were tricky, so until I get like the answer key, I can't tell how well I did, because the questions are like,
you find the question was logical, and that's how you have to do it. Okay, well, Saswat, being a students, you know the entire paper pattern and schedule. So being a students, part A, what all things we have to keep in mind while solving? Could you give some suggestion? Because the students have given the exam here, they have followed their way. We'll come back and we'll take their ideas also. So I want Saswat to give the opinion. I'll come with my points are also. So could you please give the opinion only for part A, from where, what flow we should follow? Yeah, Saswat.
Hi, sir, and hi to all the students, first of all. So, to be very to the point and coming to the opinion about part A, see, according to this year, whatever or however they have set the paper, what I think about part A is that they are totally focusing on your understanding on the drawing skills and your logical reasoning, how you are understanding something, or like how much you can perceive in your mind, or how much can you think. They are testing your creativity to some extent, reviewing the maths, physics, and chemistry questions actually. They have included some riddles as well, which is a new thing. The passage thing also, which they have included, that also, like, to some extent it tells how much you can read a thing, how much you can like go through in the description which they have given, and analyze it and then write the answers. So to some extent, they are testing your mind, like your how you're perceiving a thing in your mind and how you're going through it. So they are like they have removed their focus from PCM. Maths question was around 2-3 if I am not wrong, and physics only one question, that was also a theoretical one. Chemistry was absolutely zero. So I think right now what you can focus on is the drawing skills, and other than that, the new things that have been incorporated in the question paper, those passage questions, for which if you just practice it will do, because you don't need to practice very hard or give it a time. Like part B they have done for. They have included some sort of your memory, like they are testing your memory, how like till what extent you can remember a certain thing. So that requires a lot of practice. But whereas in part A, these passage questions with like practice of 2-3 times, or I will expect a maximum of 10 times in these 2 months, will do. The riddles questions are, yeah, somewhat what you need to like go through and through, so that just by seeing the question you have something in your mind and you get like answer. Because solving the paper in a 3 hours time, that too with so many questions loaded over it, is really difficult, what I feel, for the students, maybe for the students giving it for the first time. So a little bit of practice is required for those riddles. You need to think about what can be the answers. You must have some, like, you need to go through several things. Whatever you see around, you need to think about that. And like there was a question that how a truck can pass if it is 1 inch taller than the bridge, like the bridge where it is. So these things are like, when you just see the question, it should come to your mind, how can I decrease the height of the truck? And it can be done because there is a air gap created between the road and the tire, like the metal wheels, by the air. So you can deflate the tire and go. So these things should be coming to your mind at once. You shouldn't take much time in solving this, because afterwards you are having those drawing questions, like those PCQ questions, preferential choice type. Last year, what happened? They were carrying around 6 or 10 marks.
Sashwat, sorry for excusing you. We will come for the part B later. Here, I want to come once the pattern is out now. The pattern has been given. Last year also, we have a similar way exams, and the pattern which was in first round, that only Nata or council has followed in second round. If we'll
Yes.
see from last 5-6 years, we said to all students last year also, every year there is some changes in the pattern, and that's they try student should have a better exam, better competitions, and you can a deserving students, the right candidates should get a seats wherever, like as per the talents. So it is very important to know from the students their approach, their segments, and accordingly we can suggest you. In fact, you are here in a discussion, or later you may contact us for the any kind of the suggestion. So we'll go to the Shruti. So Shruti has given the exam and would like to know the part A. What was the approach from Shruti side? Because there is a passages, there is a questions, like I see most of the question towards more design side, but more like in an aptitude way, which is more logical. Your IQ based questions was also there based on the maths also. So let's take a Shruti example and then obviously we'll discuss. Yeah, Shruti, it's
Yes, sir.
to you. Could you please explain?
Yes, sir. So, part A was um, moderate enough. The principle of design questions were good. Like it was manageable. And coming to riddles, it was bit tricky, as everyone is saying. So even I couldn't perform well on the riddles questions. And then passage questions were very good. Like they were easy and like it was good. And then overall, the section A was moderate to good.
Okay. So what is your expectation kind of? Section A, what do you think? Like, overall it's good. What maybe you will able to score?
I'm not able to grade myself on like how I'm expectations. There's no expectations as such. So
Okay.
if the answer key would be out, I could like grade myself or something.
Yeah, obviously, once the answer key will come, we'll get the idea about it.
Yeah.
That's so there. Well, so Shruti, the entire paper, if you will see part A, so the flow of students or time management. So how you have managed the time? Did you find difficulty while managing the time?
No, it was not. I could complete the complete paper before in time. Like I had more half an hour left in my
Oh,
hand to like,
really?
yeah. So I didn't find difficulty in managing time. So
Okay.
yeah, because I didn't pay much attention to riddles because I know that it would be a waste of time. So
Yeah.
I did pay attention to other questions and tried solving those and didn't give much attention to riddles.
Well, so then paper time management is not at all issue. Now the
Yeah.
attempt, the type of the question, we'll discuss what all type of the question was there, how to attempt that, which one we should attempt first, Then we'll even discuss about the way and approach of the solving. Like suppose if you don't know the answer, so then which one you have to opt, if the questions come in a certain way, like visual, or where you are able to eliminate two options. So out of two, how you will select the right one. Well, so obviously we'll discuss all this point one by one. Meanwhile, Navina is here, and how are you, Navina?
I'm good, sir.
I can't see you, Navina. Well, could you please tell me your experience of the exam?
Same, like part A was moderate. Part A didn't take much time actually to solve. The riddles part, yes, that was tricky a bit, but I could manage solving them. And the rest, as like maths wasn't really that hard. Uh, you could
Yeah,
solve it.
you guys have practiced so much, so you will not feel like it's hard. Like,
Yeah, I could manage part A. I mean, it wasn't really that hard, but there were a few questions which were tricky. And principle of design, yes, I didn't really have problem with that. Like I could solve it.
yeah.
It's
So I see.
only
Ideally,
part B where I actually faced a problem because it was that 30 seconds part. I kind of messed up there.
yeah. So I see most of you have faced the problem in part B. Part B, the pattern was quite similar what we have last year pattern. Like that is kind of the pattern it is. It's just you have to visualize the images. So part A comes some sort of the tips which we have to keep in mind. We may discuss the later also, and obviously you will have many mock test classes that will take care of it. And we will have enough time also. So obviously, now the thing is part B. I would like to go to the Saswat for the suggestion. Yeah. So yeah, Navina seems like a Ugadi, like happy Ugadi, Navina. You
Same
seem
to you, sir.
yeah ready for the Ugadi. Well, good. Yeah, I'm also in spring mode today. The Ugadi festival mode. Yeah, good, nice to see you, Navina. Well, so let's the Saswat also join us. Yeah, I will pin you also. So we will have like a discussion for because I see most of you guys have faced a part B somehow. So looking at this year ka part B questions, like because what we see there in a exams and what we think we should keep in our mind. So, well, Saswat, well, start with the Navina only. Navina, what you face the problem by solving the part B?
Part B, like for example, the first question was a composition of so many elements there. Like it can be people or benches or trees, and so many colors. So when you look into the picture, you can't know at what exactly you have to concentrate. Like you look everywhere, and you won't know what to concentrate more on. So, for example, me, I concentrated on colors, and then about trees or birds or something like that. But the question they asked how many benches were there. So I ignored to see that part. So in the next question, when I tried seeing about the objects, they asked about colors. So it's quite confusing. You won't know on what to concentrate more and how to memorize it.
Well, last year we did a lot similar kind of the questions. It's there on YouTube. A bit of pattern. It's quite similar questions and all. Approach intent was a bit different because here you have to visualize. So let's take Saswat opinion because he got top marks. Right now he's in BMS, Bangalore, where the most of the student is dreaming and changing. Okay, I should get a top colleges when it comes. So that's BMS is the one of them where students want to take admission. So I would like to take a Saswat suggestion on it. Yeah, Saswat.
Sir, speaking about my opinion, like the very first line which I would like to say, I really didn't know, like, I just want to add on this because it's my personal experience, you can say. I don't know like how this term is really important for a student to answer this question. Whereas, as Navina said, it's really difficult to just concentrate on a particular thing or to know on which basis they are going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So that's what, and I feel the students, there is only one way of improvement, and that's by practice and practice. In the next 2 months, if they are going to practice similar kind of sets of question paper for like at least two 10, like 10 plus 10 to those kind of two party question papers per day, then only that can improve and that can help out at the end of 2 months. There's no other way because it's all basis on how much you perceive in your memory. There is nothing like that you can form out something or you can do something of your own. It's totally dependent on you need to analyze the picture, remember it as much as possible, and then answer the questions. So that's totally dependent on how much you remember, and that can only be like done by practicing the similar set of questions for a number of times.
Yeah, I mean, did you face the similar problem, Navina? I mean, remembering the things was difficult, or
Yes, because as I told, there were so many elements placed there, so you won't know on what part to concentrate more. So at time when you try to concentrate on everything, when they ask the question, you end up forgetting because again you have to think, okay, like how many benches were there? Was it three? Oh no, maybe there were more. Maybe I didn't observe that part.
yeah. Well, let me take the opinion of Ritika, followed by Ritika. We have here. Then we'll ask the Shruti also. Now, what next? We'll prepare. Yeah, Ritika. Exactly, it was the same problem for you.
Yes, so like she said only, like I was trying to concentrate on the number of people totally, but when they asked, I couldn't, the benches and all, I didn't pay attention to. And I tried looking at the color of their hair and stuff, but that also, and when I went to the next question, I tried like looking at numbers, counting the tiles and stuff, but they asked which color was that. So there I couldn't remember that time.
Okay. Okay. So we'll come for this particular part, and then here for discussion there will be no doubt. But I would like to know more here right now from Shashwat. Looking at last year ka question, 9 questions, or this year ka, I mean, it was easier to score over there because were pre-divided, what you have to select, things were a bit divided. So where all, like, one thing you have said, like, if they remember, they can do it. But while looking at the paper, questions, things, anything else comes in your mind by any chance? Any other point which somebody need to take care? Practice, I know, practice make man perfect. That's obviously a perfect thing, but what else can be?
No, that is obvious. Practice is something else. But seeing on the question paper, what I feel is that, I think I should suggest them of the game of Lumosity, which is really helpful for solving this kind of questions. That's also increase your perception and like how much in what time your brain responses to a particular thing. So you can play games like that, and as well as like do some creative stuff. Try to make some forms and all out of paper because paper is the most the easily available substance which you can get, and you can make anything with it like very efficiently. So I think make out some forms and all. Try to do some creative stuff which opens up your mind or which opens up your thinking. That's one way. Practice, as I told, practice is obviously required. And other than that, if like this time it is a 3 hours question paper, like it used to happen previously, leaving 2020. But making it a 3 hours paper, you must always keep in mind that the question pattern has also changed. The same question which was having around 6 to 10 marks last year is having only 3 marks, and meaning the drawing questions. So you must also be quite fast enough, your brain should be quite good, reflective enough to answer those questions. While seeing a picture, you must understand what are the design principles working and all. And this design principles and all, like if I tell you that how you can get it at an instant by seeing it, is again which comes to that like you need to see several of them, need to analyze that what are the things, if you what are the principles over there, and it's again comes to some similar term to practice only. So this is the way I think you can perceive it, and that's the only opinion from my side. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, well, so if you'd ask me, Ritika, Suti, Navina, you have like, and all our students or maybe viewer, though they will watch later, and if you'd ask me. So we have solved such questions earlier, I mean, but in a different form where we are supposed to go in the market while we were in college and we are look at the things around for a while, like, 5 minutes, we are allowed to see the things. And then we have to sit somewhere else. We have to recall all the product around, and that we have to draw in a composition form. Apart from that, lot of recalling or visualization things, like when we talk about the design process. So it's a start with identification of the product, like how you see, and then you look at the things, how it around you. And like suppose if I have to design a water bottle also, this is completely design this question, this one. So what we have to look at in this current situation is what is the current COVID impact in the society, how the things will get sorted. So after looking this bottle, what all things are here, each element is very important for me to recall while doing my mind mapping or primary studies and research. So whatever images it comes in the exam, last year also it was there, but last year directly you can look at the image and you can count and tick the right answer. You can look at the image, you can tick the emotions, words which is mentioned there. This was the pattern last year, but this year is a bit more challenging, one step ahead, but it is not very difficult. It's just these days we are too much into phone. We are not dependent on self, so we do not remember things now. But if I would remember when I was small kid and we have a landline phone, I do remember at least 50 of numbers. Now sometimes I may confuse with my number also. To having 2-3 number, you may have this confusion. Okay, ye yaad hai ya nahi wo yaad hai. So that's capability we can develop. It is not so difficult, or it is possible. It's just we need to have a more and more level of mock or test. So we will take care of that part. But subject and topics are same, right? You don't see, Navina, the topic has been changed, correct? Yeah, I see. You're checking ahead. Must be Ritika and Shruti is also aware about it. So topic, study-wise, somebody who have completed, maybe you will have a bit of small revision or brush up. New batches will have a same topics are, and the practice-wise, how we have multiple set of test paper last year, this year also will take care of it. And that part will do it. So you will have in a live in the session right this way and all, because part B marks is something which is gonna play very vital and immediately role. Part A, again, the case-based passages which you had, those marks gonna be play very important role. Then again, part A, some of the portion, logical design thinking, which is more similar to UC, that pattern, that question's gonna play very important role. Again, one more thing what I found this year in Nata pattern is it is not very traditionally or something new. If you will see 2015-16 Nata pattern, it was in same way. Image comes, this that image is there for a certain time, and then you have to answer the question. So it was earlier also, they followed the same way. It is not something new. So we have all set of ready pattern, topics are same, everything is same, that will follow. Some of the student had things like, okay, acha, physics nahi aaya, chemistry nahi aaya. Anyway, you have studied. If you will have a board exam, that is also in consideration now. So, so at that time, obviously, your those portion will help you, and that you have to be in touch with your physics, chemistry. But I have never seen this pattern. Nata do not give so many physics, chemistry questions. Last year, they defined the total number of the questions that came. Five question was there, but it was never ever it was there after the introducing also last year, and before that also, when they mention they will ask 11 12 maths and all this, they ask general basic question only. The reason behind of it is very simple. You have very limited time. They cannot give you 10 marks question writing 2 marks, and you have to solve 2 page half an hour or 20 minutes or 15 minutes each step to get the answer. Getting it? So we'll have a basic questions only. That is how we can look the pattern. So these pointer and look at the questions pattern which is available across what I got till now. We realize we are working on it. First round, we are obviously looking at more like a trial basis, because the certain changes was there we are not sure about. Soon we'll obviously start the test series of Nata. All the people who will come watch videos and all, they can also press the bell icon button or we subscribe the channel. We'll have much more better the ideas over there. But here in the class, I would like to know from Shruti, Ritika and Navina, all three of you, what do you think, where you guys need support from Ignite, and which portion you guys need to practice more, like, as a person, like, as a student or as an aspirant to get a top marks? Because I'm not looking at nothing less than 150, 160, 170, like, less than that. Last year also I said, Saraswati, you asked, there are so many students have a score more than 150, 160, 170 also. Last year, so surprisingly 180 plus also was there. But looking at this year questions pattern, if you'd ask me, 150 plus will be a very decent score, very good score, which is achievable, targetable, we can score. What happens? It happens. I see you guys are still pretty confident. Paper went well, but हम आगे उस पे काम करेंगे. Or let's see the Saswat opinion also, what he think. 150 plus on this paper, is it possible, or how it is possible? His comment, and then obviously all three of your comment. Yeah, Saswat.
Yeah, actually, I also feel that scoring 150 or till max, I will look for 160 plus score. Will be a very good one this year, seeing the question pattern or how they are preparing and all. I would inspire the students as well to look for a score of 175 or 180 plus, because keeping a target of that, you achieve the score a little lesser than that. So this always happens. Whatever target you set for, it is like really very hard, or very less number of students can reach across that target area. You are scoring always around it. So keep a high target, keep a high mindset, but always don't get demotivated if you're scoring a little less. But as sir said already, that scoring a 150 plus score this year will be really good. And along with that, I would also like to add on here, your board percentage always matters. So your board percentage, you should maintain a minimum board percentage of 80% above. With a 150 plus score to get admission, like not only to get admission, you can be sure from your end that I will get into one of the best colleges or one of the very good colleges. So this will be your mindset when you are achieving this area or this section of school. So that's also over to you.
Yeah, Ritika, what do you think? What need to be done there?
Yes, sir. Sir, I don't know how much I'll score.
Okay, that thing is done. Like, suppose if you are writing the exam, what do you think yourself you need to work on? Exactly, the pattern will be same. So followed by same pattern where you need to work more.
I definitely need to work on the memory thing.
Memory, yeah, that we practice more and more. That's not a problem. That's not your call. You do not need to bother about and even worry about it. Always we have, so obviously we do take care of it. Okay? Yeah? Ritika?
Yes, sir.
So,
And there were like questions where I didn't know if I should put a numerical value or the words. There was one question where they asked 3 rooms, so I didn't know if I had to put the number 3 in words. I don't know how the paper will get corrected. So that I'm like worried about that part.
what was that question is? One second.
They asked,
And what she is asking is that, like, for all of the questions, whatever there was no options, it was a blank space given, and she got confused about writing a number or writing a like writing in words. So, but like, yeah, I think you can write a number, that will be better. Or like, suppose if there is a numerical question or a math question, you can write it in number, obviously. If it is something like a riddle or anything that you need to type it, and in between the sentence you are getting a number, you do mention the number, because that will reduce your space occupancy. You are having a certain limit of typing the letters. So, like, you can type a little more to explain yourself. So I think typing a number will be a better option.
Yeah, or any other update which will come from council, obviously we'll get to know that one. Well, Navina, what do you think? Two side I want to know. After writing the paper, you got it, you have to improve part B. What went well? What you should do? You have to do it yourself. And what is your expectation from Ignite? So all three things I want to know.
Well, I mean, yeah. As usual, as everyone is telling, it's part B that maybe I have to work a bit more. But the rest from part A, I'm not telling from my side, but I'm just generally telling that there were a lot of questions from color tone basis.
Yeah.
So maybe they should have questions based on, they should work on questions based on color tone, and there were at least 5 questions or something based on principle of elements design, and riddles were there. So, and math questions were very basic, like, profit and loss, or percentage,
Yeah.
or the time, speed, and distance. So I guess they should work more on such topics. I mean, they should work more on others too, but maybe give a more concentration for these topics.
So you will practice on this topic. I think you do not need to practice. You had enough classes for that.
Yeah, that's what I told. I'm not telling that I face problem here, but I'm just generally telling that they
For
should.
other, yeah, so nice of you. So you are suggesting other also at the same time. So you feel like like it's good. It's
No,
good.
I mean, I told because I attended the paper, so
I know.
maybe
I got
giving
that.
others like how they should
That is how. Yeah. That is
go
how.
forward for second round.
That's what the overall goal and Ignite idea also is. We might make sure that others also get the help, and we can keep analysis. So it's really nice, your thought and the plan is. So what we can do it right now here is, I would like to know, what do you think? Which portions? One thing I realized from the Ignite side of it, if I want your number 150 plus, 160 plus, 170 plus, we have to give you so many mock paper, especially for part B, and obviously regularly for part A also. So what do you think? Mock paper, the syllabus and content what we have, we should continue for the classes, except maybe physics or chemistry classes, which is not more required. Apart from that, some of the passage class, and here more and more number of the test paper for part B, because that is how I see most of you are facing a bit of lag. So that may need a more practice, and that may comes only through the practice. So if this section, if I give you properly, or obviously we'll have so many test paper for all the students, all of them is invited. So what do you think, Navina? You can score them 150, 160. चलो आपकी बात करते हैं. अगले
As
recorded promise I want, huh?
no, I'm not gonna promise anything, but as I told you, like, I've opted both for first round and second round. So first round is basically like I wanted to know how the pattern goes on. So that second round I can do better than what I did in first round. So I can know what topics to concentrate on and how to improvise myself so that I can get the target that I have kept in mind.
That's what I'm shortlisting it now. The things are, and I have to ensure it. You guys have to score that. So trying to find out the syllabus back in work, who will do it. Last year also we did the same, but as the SAS were like, followed by, we have done it the same last year, right?
Yeah, actually, like with time, it is done. And obviously, like the first attempt, whosoever is given or someone is watching and all, first attempt is a trial test attempt, because as sir already said that they change the pattern every year. To some extent, might be one or two questions. First attempt, you must always take it as a trial attempt for as an experience of yours, because it is not possible for anyone to attend the papers before you come across, like come to your work and all. So there is ample amount of time now, having around 2 months time. It's like quite good enough to practice the papers and it's good enough. And for memory base, since sir was also telling, like right now we are totally confiscated in our phones. We don't remember the numbers. We don't try to remember the landmarks as well. The roadways are done by Google Map and all. So try to remember a few things. Try to like see a picture, or in this way might be try these things at your home. That seeing a picture, you try to for the first day try to see it for 5 minutes and then remember. Next day 3 minutes, the next day 2 minutes, and try to increase it, so that will help, because practicing the paper, before practicing the papers, you must give some time to yourself. While papers, you will be given 30 seconds time only. So you must give some time, give half an hour or 1 hour. I think that will be enough to see a picture and then try to remember, and that will obviously be helpful.
Yes. So Ritika, I see Shruti, Ritika, Navina is here in all this discussion, and although we have discussed, I will, and I want all of your scores should be 150 plus. Ask Ashwat also. When you score 148 also in first round, I said, no, this will not work. Student like you could have 150, 160 plus. And next one, I think you have scored 160 plus only, Ashwat, right?
It was 163.5.
163.5. So this was always ideally I see. So if you are conscious and all this, it's a very good day to take a oath. You all have to score that 160 plus at least. And our side, obviously, together we'll put. I know you guys are very sincere towards all the journey. We have done a lot of things, and Saswat will also put a lot of effort. You could keep in contact with Saswat Navina. I mean, he's working behind a lot for Nata dedicatedly. So Ritika, what you will score in second round? Now I need number. I don't want any comment and plan and all those. I just want to listen the number. What you are expecting in next round? Kya number lana hai?
Yeah, 150 plus.
Very good. I'm recording this session. Yeah, 150 plus. Shruti, your number?
Yes, so it is 150 plus.
Very good. All of you are believing it. My dream only I can achieve when you started dreaming it. You started believing it. And it's possible together. Great. Navina, 180 plus.
150 plus.
Everybody in safe zone, 150 plus. Okay. I'll send you. Thank you, card. Thank you so much, students. We have another session, but I have a list of pointer and discussion what I meant. But I want you have to analyze yourself, discover yourself. The moment you do more and more inside and you go back in that particular mindset, acha paper diya tha, to kya hua? So you can look at the pointer, okay, where all I need to work. It is very important. That's what I said. So thank you once again, Saswat. We connect and we'll plan for it more. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for joining.
Thanks a lot to the students as well. They have given a lot of effort for their exam. Hope they are going to do the same for the second round.
Yes.